Hey guys, my name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be filming what I've watched number 5. This is a video series that I brought to my channel in 2018 because I love talking about TV shows and movies as much as I love talking about books, and this gives me the opportunity to talk to you about recent TV shows and movies that I've been watching. This is catching you up since about the end of November or so. I've watched a lot of different movies and content since the end of November and the end of the year. Let's just jump right into what I've watched. I'm gonna start with TV shows as I normally do. First TV show that I want to talk about is a bit of a controversial one, and that is Insatiable. This is a Netflix show that is like pretty controversial because everybody and their mom really like hates this with like a burning passion, and they think it's like the most ridiculous shit ever. But let me tell you something. I watched this whole first season. I got hooked onto the show, okay? And I know, like, just hold your judgment before you judge me because I know that the show doesn't have the best message, at least in the beginning, but once you really give the show a chance, like, you have to watch past the first episode. Like, people really judge the show based off of the trailers or just based off of what everybody else is saying, but like, seriously, dude, this show is meant to be taken as a satire. It's not meant to be taken seriously. Like, it is a comedy, it's a dark comedy show, so it's meant to be ridiculous. It's meant to be insane, if that makes any sense. I don't know, to me this show kind of felt like Santa Clarita Diet meets Mean Girls meets Dumpling almost, because of the like pageant aspect of the show. But like, oh my god, I just really loved this show, and at the end of the day I think it does actually have a really positive body message, because it's telling you just because you're skinny doesn't mean you're going to be happy, or just because you're skinny doesn't mean your life's going to be perfect, and you should always just be yourself at the end of the day because that's who you are. And it also has some really positive, amazing LGBT relationships in the show, and I don't know, like, I think people are judging the show way too quickly, and I think it's actually really fucking great. Like, if you like dark comedies and comedies that kind of like push the bar a little bit, this one's so good, and I honestly can't wait for the second season. Like, I know I'm in a very small minority of people that really actually like the show, but like, give it a chance. It's actually pretty great. It's ridiculous, but it's great. Like, it was very unexpected, unpredictable. I couldn't guess where it was going. The writing is just all over the place, which is really entertaining in my opinion. And I don't know, I just think that the show is brutally honest, and it doesn't really like hold anything back, and it's very entertaining. So it's kind of like Toddlers and Tiaras or something. It's like a train wreck that you can't really look away from. I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I know I'm gonna get judged right now, but who cares? The second show I wanted to talk about is Friends from College. This is also a Netflix show. I watched the whole first season, and I'm about halfway through the new second season that just came out, and the show is so good. It's so funny. Freaking Keegan and Kobe Smulders are like my favorite part of the show, and they're just so funny in this. Like, third one that's kind of a show but kind of a movie is Black Mirror Bandersnatch. And I watched this, and I gotta say, I thought it was okay. I liked the idea of an interactive episode through Netflix. Like, I thought that was so cool, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of the interactive choices weren't actual choices, which I know maybe is the point, because like the whole theme of this episode is like, you think you're in control, but you're not. I get that that might be like a metaphor, but like, I feel like a lot of the interactive choices, if you didn't choose the right one, it would just make you go back and choose the other one. So it was like, what's the point then? Like, you're just gonna make me choose the one that you want, which is maybe the point. I get it, but like, I was just like, it wasn't my favorite thing from Black Mirror, to be honest. Now let's jump into some movies that I watched over the last couple of months. The first one is Ralph Breaks the Internet. This one I had like super high expectations for because I really loved the first WreckIt Ralph, and this one I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty disappointing. I liked the overall message about like viral social media and how that affects people and stuff, but I don't know, I thought the ending of this was like really cheesy. Like, it honestly felt like a kids movie to me, and I don't like kids movies to feel like kids movies, you know? Like, I feel like it should be enjoyable for every age, and I feel like this one was more of a kids movie than I wanted it to be, if that makes sense. I think the best part of this movie by far was Gal Gadot as that one girl's character, and the musical number that came out of nowhere. Other than that, it was alright. The next movie I watched was this movie called Set It Up on Netflix. It's like this rom-com movie that I actually thought was really cute. It's like this cheesy romantic comedy about these two assistants trying to get their bosses together so that their lives will be easier and their bosses will be happier. And the next movie I watched was Sorry to Bother You. This movie is literally one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen in my life, and it kind of traumatized me. It is a comedy, but it's also partially a sci-fi, and the sci-fi part of this movie really like scared the shit out of me because of how realistic it felt. It kind of felt like a Black Mirror episode or something. Holy shit, I really did enjoy this movie though. And Armie Hammer in this movie, like, wow. But the ending of this movie honestly like scared the crap out of me. Like it was just such an eerie movie. It was so unsettling. Next one I watched is Instant Family. I went and saw this in theaters with a bunch of my coworkers and we all like cried. And it was so good. It was so cute and it honestly made me want to adopt children. And I love Rose Byrne in this movie. She's always so good. I freaking love Rose Byrne. The next one I saw was Beautiful Boy. And this one was really hard to watch because it mainly deals with the son having a very severe drug problem, and then Steve Carell is like the dad who's like trying to deal with his son and trying to like help his son and make him better, and it was just very like, it just felt so real. It was like a very well done real story on like, you know, drug addiction, and it was just very sad and very hard to watch, but I did really enjoy this one as well, and I think Timothée Chalamet and Steve Carell did phenomenal in this movie. And the next one I watched was Dumpling, and this one was a Netflix original movie about the book Dumpling, which I didn't actually like the book Dumpling. I thought it was okay, but I thought this movie was actually done really well, and it was really cute, and I loved Jennifer Aniston, my queen, in this movie. She was so amazing. And the next movie I saw was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I've seen this movie twice now in theaters, and if you saw my favorite movies of 2018 video, then you know that this was in my top 3 favorite movies of the year. Like I absolutely love this movie. Like the amount of detail put into this movie, like animation wise and story wise, is just so impressive to me, and I just love the story of Miles Morales as much as I love Peter Parker. Like it was just so amazing and entertaining. It was funny as hell, and the action was amazing, and the animation was so cool. Like I could rave about this movie all day. Like seriously, it's the freaking shit. It's so good. It's so good. And the soundtrack of this movie is also so good. And Sunflower is like on repeat for the rest of my life, and I love this movie so much. I can't wait to watch it again. The next movie I saw was Aquaman. I did enjoy this movie. I liked Amber Heard a lot in this movie. Amber Heard is amazing. Jason Momoa was good as Aquaman. Like I think he was the perfect casting choice for that movie, and I really did love some of the like underwater scenes. I thought they were done really well, and like it just looked really cool. Overall this movie was okay. Like I think the ending definitely lost it for me because it just got so cheesy at the end, like the last couple battle scenes and like the dramatic scenes at the end, you know, like I just like the ending just got a little like but I really did enjoy most of the whole movies. The next movie I saw was Bird Box, which I didn't expect a lot going into this movie. I loved the book, okay? I loved the book, but I was so afraid because I saw the first trailer and I didn't really like the trailer, and I just thought like, how are they gonna make this amazing book into a movie? Like I just didn't know how they were gonna do it, and I ended up really liking this movie for what it was. Like I still think the book is way better for what they were able to do with the content and make it into a movie. Like I still found the movie very watchable, very enjoyable, and it stayed true to the book for the most part, but I don't know, I thought Sandra Bullock did a really great job. I thought both of the kid actors did amazing in this, and I love the relationship between Sandra Bullock and the dude in the movie. Can't remember his name right now. Like some of it definitely was cheesy for sure, but like I kind of expected it to be that way after I saw the trailer, so I was glad that most of the movie didn't feel that cheesy. But I still enjoyed this. Like I think it's totally watchable and still good. The next movie I saw was Searching, and if you also saw my best of the year list, you saw this movie on my best of the year list, and this movie was so unexpectedly amazing. I only watched this movie because I saw this movie being featured on so many people's best of the year list, and I got really curious. This is a found footage movie that all takes place within technology. Like it takes place like on the laptop, so like the movie starts with like Windows starting up, and then like you see him typing in the password. It's like it's all through the computer, and every scene in this movie is done through FaceTime or like security cameras or whatever. It's all through technology, so it's all found footage, and I thought I would hate a movie like this, but this movie is done so well. It's so cool. The main story happening in this is a daughter goes missing, and it's about like the dad trying to track down what happened to his daughter and where she was right before she went missing, and this was such an interesting mystery. Like I was hooked. It was unpredictable. I couldn't guess where it was going. Like I was so into this. Very good, very well done. I was shook watching this. I loved it. All right, the next movie that I watched was the Taylor Swift Reputation Netflix movie. Oh my god, you guys, I went to the Reputation tour in May last year, and I watched this on New Year's Eve with my family. It was the best way to end the new year. Oh my god, it was so good. Watching this again, it was like being at the concert again, and just Taylor Swift is my fucking queen. She is so amazing and so badass and just so, I just love her so much. What an icon. What a fucking legend. The next movie I watched was The Favorite, and this one I loved because it's Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz competing to be the Queen's favorite. I loved it too because it's Yorgos Lanthimos. He's one of my favorite directors. He's also directed The Lobster, The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Great stuff, you know? And so I was highly anticipating this movie because he's one of my favorite directors. It was so strange and weird, and I just loved it so much. And I loved Emma Stone in this role. She was so good. And I loved the lesbian love triangle happening in this, like both of them competing to be the Queen's favorite, and it was just very like catty and like cutthroat in like the best way. Like, it was so fascinating to watch, and it's just one of the most interesting movies I've ever seen. Like, I've never actually seen anything quite like this before, and oh my god, the dark comedy in this is just so great and so funny. And the last movie that I just recently watched was 8th Grade. I am so impressed. Like, I feel like this is so accurate to how life is in 8th grade. Like, oh my god, her little vlogs when she's like, how to be confident, like, oh my god, that was so me in 8th grade. Like, clearly I have a passion for filming things, and I was all about those film diaries when I was in middle school too, so I totally related to that. And just her like awkwardness and how she's in band and how she doesn't really have a lot of friends, like, wow, that was me in middle school. So I really enjoyed this movie a shit ton. I mean, I wasn't as like boy crazy at that age, which I know isn't as common, so I know that this was probably on the nose for a lot of girls that are in 8th grade, but like her dad in this movie, he was so sweet and just so good to her, and like, oh god. And this movie was just so cute. It was so cute, and Elsie Fisher is so good in this role. Like, she's so good, and I'm really sad that the Oscars just totally shut out this movie, but you know, whatever. Alright, so those are all the movies and TV shows that I have watched recently. Let me know if you've watched any of these, what your thoughts are on any of these, or any movies or TV shows that are coming out pretty soon that you're really excited about and want to see. I know for me, you know, they just announced the Oscar nominations, so I have a bunch of movies that I'm gonna need to watch very soon. I've only seen like half of the stuff that's nominated for Oscars, so thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you guys soon with a new video.